Right. All right. So the format's gonna be pretty straightforward. I'm gonna say some things, then we're gonna open up questions to members of the media, and then we'll take some questions from the rest of the audience. I know they are recording. We will be doing another one of these sessions tomorrow. So, reason for today's press conference, for those who are unaware, there has been a rather public debate over fines and times. There's been a number of state announcements, as well as a lot of quote-unquote official statements that were made all over Twitter. This has left a lot of people confused as to what is up and what is down. So I want to make sure that everybody in Los Santos County at least understands the position of the Los Santos County mayor and the truth as far as I'm aware. Earlier today, there was some closed-door conversations that transpired, of which I was not a part of. Subsequently, there was a leak from the police department, resulting in members of the public getting wind that officers were no longer allowed to reduce the fine and time. That took over on Twitter pretty virally. People started to give their opinions. Shortly thereafter, there was a statement noting that legislation was being passed that allied some of this leniency. After I received a number of phone calls and saw on Twitter, as well as phone calls stating that I, the mayor of Los Santos, had the ability to change the fine and the time, that's when I really knew that I needed to figure out what exactly was going on. Two things. One is the allegation and the pointing fingers in my direction. And number two, regardless of if I had this in my power, I needed to know for you. How do these changes affect the constituents of Los Santos County and beyond? I made a phone call directly to Justice Angel. In this phone call, two things were stated. After significant probing, I asked a very simple question. Why does law enforcement no longer have the ability to use discretion? As each of you know, fines and times have never been everything. If you got lawyers in the cells, certain circumstances occur. The demeanor you might conduct yourself in the cells, maybe how long you were down there. Officers have very often reduced the time sentencing. Why did this change? After a lot of probing, the statement was made, it has been illegal. She did not want to make that statement up until then, until I prodded. I then challenged the question, since when do I have the ability to change the fine and time, as I have been strictly told that I cannot manipulate that? I was then told, after 4 questions of assurance, are you sure I can change this? Because I previously been told I cannot. It was told to me, and I'm going to quote, that yes, you can change it. It is in your purview. And finally, that if anything negative comes out of it, it is going to be on the justice. Now, mind you, in this conversation, it was very clear that I had control of the fines throughout the state. And the other mayor, and Mayor Andy Jones, had the control of the times. It was made very clear throughout this. Subsequently, I reduced the fines down to 50%. I then made a state announcement, as you can reference. For those who haven't been awake, we'll publish it on lossantos.me. I immediately received a phone call stating that maybe I should turn it back. Now, all of a sudden, it went from, hey, you got control for this? You got to go bring it back to where it was. So I asked the question, are you ordering me to do this, or are you suggesting this? I was told it was a suggestion. Phone call ended. a officer of the law got onto Twitter and started making a particular reference. Law enforcement's lives are now the cost of one across on your vehicle. I went ahead and took a look at the fines and times on the MDT. Same one you can reference down at the courthouse. And lo and behold, I found out that the judges, after this change, had immediately upped the fines for a number of charges in order to counter this change. No announcement, no nothing. That $50,000 rifle, revolver charge, it was now $125,000.
God damn.
I made a phone call and I asked the question, what exactly is going on? I was then told, due to the fact that I changed it to 50%, they're going to take it upon themselves to make sure that these fines and times are balanced. So I asked the question, is this in my purview or is it in your purview? What is the point of a mayor having control of the fines and the times if at a fucking whim it can be changed from underneath you? Where is the conversation with the public? Where is the transparency? Imagine you go to jail tomorrow and all of a sudden the times and fines have changed all of a sudden. Why? Because someone felt like it. I challenged that very question. And I said, is this in my purview or yours? I was then told that I needed to change this or else. The fines would get changed once again because apparently officers were making phone calls within a 15-minute period. I want you to think about this. How many phone calls did you get in 15 minutes? Apparently a lot of officers were saying they're only worth one across now and it needs to change. I wonder who that could have been. One officer calls the judge and all of a sudden the fines and times are changing. What fucking world do we live in? So I said, listen, we got a funeral. Let's talk about this afterwards. And the answer was no. We're going to keep it this way. I said, what happens when I talk to the PD and we got to go alter these things and we bring it back to 100% like you're really pushing me to do? That means everything's going to fucking double. Doesn't matter. There was no conversation to be had. So I asked the very obvious. Where the fuck is the logic? Nobody, whether it's myself as an elected official or anybody with any semblance of power, should be able to wake up on the side of the bed and without, just because they want something to be a certain way, change it right then and there. In fact, I'm gonna mention something that many of you may not know, and I'm gonna apologize for not being more transparent in the past. Legislation has been consistently changing without any notification to the public for some time now. Some of you may be aware, when it came to all the legislation that was contested, the Los Santos ones about 3 weeks ago, that wasn't the only case. In fact, have a chat with some of your lawyers. They were waking up and finding out that there was some silent alterations made to every little piece of legislation in there, and in some cases, no note of any amendment. The question I leave everyone with today is, you voted me in. Some of you may not have, and you may not vote for me next election. Some of you voted in Andy. You may not vote for her next election. But is this not a democracy? How do you go and contest legislation that the very next hour after it gets repealed can get altered in that moment? How is that? Where is the checks and balances? Where is the due process? Where is the fucking transparency? Members of the media, any questions we can answer?
Yeah, I've got a question, Nino.
Yeah, come on up a little bit. Feel free to use the microphone.
So my question being, would you say what's happened today is blatant corruption?
Ooh, sin.
Corruption is a very interesting word.
Right?
There's objective fact, objective logic. Is it objectively corruption? No one's defined it. That's the crazy thing, right? But I think deep down in our hearts, if it smells like shit, it probably is.
So if you've got this idea that it could potentially be corruption, right? And this hasn't been outlined yet. Obviously, corruption's illegal, right? Will these people who did these acts, will they be investigated? Will there be consequences if this is corruption?
Where are the marshals?
I think that's a very good question, and I think those are the things that we need to start thinking about post this press conference. Should it? Yes. Should it be looked into? Absolutely. That a judge ordered a mayor to alter things that is within their purview under threat. I want you to keep that in mind.
Okay.
Not all threats need to be violent. Go ahead.
Following on from this, right? Obviously, you're not happy with what's happened. You don't agree with what's happened. And it looks like a lot of the public has been maybe lied to or not given the information that they should be given, right? You've said that you've been involved in this, whether it was like by order or not, or you do know about it. From now on, what due process are you going to enforce or try to enforce to make sure that this doesn't happen again and the public is known about every legislation change?
So I can tell you that on our end of the spectrum, we've actually taken steps. Many of you are involved or have friends that are involved. We have a 25 to 30 person legislative review board consisting of civilians from different sectors of Los Santos County, giving them early previews and ability to bring up their problems before we even put it on the doorstep of the DOJ. We want to continue down this line of transparency to make sure that when things do get passed, that the general public has a say.
Well, what you're saying right now, right, is things have been being changed without consulting this board, no? Without consulting these 25 people, right?
These 25 people are only Los Santos County. The other things are state legislation, which we have zero purview of.
And are we going to do anything to try and change that? Or is that just going to continue?
I think that is a question for not just myself, but everybody in this crowd. I think everyone has to ask themselves deep down, is this just?
Okay, no, perfect. That was all from me.
All right. We had another segment of the news media. I'm looking left and right. Are they still here? No. I want to open up questions to folks in the crowd. Anything in regards to this topic. All you got to do, just kind of step forward to the microphone and have you give it a go.
I got a quick question, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on up.
All right, so, okay, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah, get close and then use the microphone.
Yeah, we hear you.
There we go. Hey, from my understanding, so are you saying our charges in general are more than what they were yesterday?
That is entirely possible. There is no way to audit it. I, after being given explicit permission, reduced all fines in the city down to 50%. Under the guise of it being about killing cops, which was some bullshit on Twitter, right, and back and forth, those charges were then altered to be the same amount when it was 100%. And thus, having now been forced to put it back at 125%, where it originally was, some of those charges may be higher than they once were. But like I said, I have no way to audit this. I did take documentation of what was before and afterwards, so I'm going to go and try to audit it myself. So.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Feel free coming on up.
How are you gonna audit it? You're gonna get arrested?
I do not know what's going to happen to me from here on out, but I'm sick of being silent and allowing these things to happen without the public being at least at minimum aware of things changing around them that affect them, affect their friends, and affect their family. All right.
You worried about getting arrested because of being transparent? Is that what you're saying?
I would be surprised if there was not an attempt to impeach me. But you know what I say? Bring it the fuck on. I got nothing to lose.
And he got probed.
Bobby? Come on up. Ask your question.
Fuck you, Bobby.
Fuck you, Bobby.
Hey, you watch your mouth, okay?
Fuck
Keep it
you,
civil, people.
Bobby.
Keep it
Fuck
civil.
you, Bobby.
That's right.
God fucking damn it.
Fuck you too, Carmine.
Hey, you shut your goddamn mouth, you son of a bitch.
Fuck you,
Fucking
Bobby.
idiot, motherfucker.
Motherfucker. That's fucking right.
Yeah, step down.
Bobby, are you going to ask a question? Come on. Come on, Bobby, come over here.
You know what I think? Fafanco, motherfucker.
All right.
Fafanco, have
All
some
right.
of
You know what?
this,
I'm pretty sure I know what he's going to
right.
ask. The answer is Bobby, yes.
Out of my face, huh? Out
Bobby,
of my face.
Bobby, look at me. Look at me, Bobby. Listen. All right? I know you're a special one, all right? But no matter what people say around here,
That's right.
Get this
we
man a helmet.
all believe you're worth more than one across, all right? I want you to know that.
Is that what they mean?
All right. Any other questions? Don't be shy. Come on up. All right. Luciano.
Aftershave, fucking hell.
I think it's safe to say here. Can everybody hear me? Back over there, you guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Sound great.
Now you too.
The people of Los
You
Santos.
dumb bitch.
The people of Los Santos. I think it's safe to say here. The mayor must be protected at all costs, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
We're all on one side, despite waving different flags. We must protect the Nino, no matter the outcome. Don't forget what he has done for us.
Look.
That is all.
Jesus. All right.
Type shit.
Look.
I agree with that.
Funny how we're talking about corruption. Ruby's back there. Yeah.
This is I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Luciano.
Agreed, brother.
There are a lot of different ways that we can go about this. But I think one thing is significantly more powerful than any kind of sword,
It's a
any kind of
going
thing
on,
that we're
Marlo?
used to handling, whether you're a cop or whether you're someone else. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot of ways that we tend to try to resolve problems. But today, I think it's your voice that's going to be more powerful than anything else. So, tonight, tomorrow morning, we are going to have an article up detailing each and every bit of 4K evidence that has been recorded throughout this entire encounter with a timeline. And I want you to take the time and read through it. And if you think there's any bullshit in there, call it out. But if you think there is a problem, the best thing you can do is to scream out up against it. Because at the end of the day, this is a fucking democracy. And it needs to remain as such.
That's right. That's
Because that's a lot of people lost their lives many months ago to give this city a second fucking, a breath of fucking fresh air. And while some of you may have been against it, the fact of the matter, we're here now. So, unless there's any other questions, come on
I
up.
want to
Come
say
on.
something.
Absolutely.
Say something. You know, I know I was asked a question or spoken to. Hello?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Say nine. Hello?
Yeah. Working.
Hello, my fellow Americans. Hello, my fellow Americans. I just want to thank you for coming here and supporting my dearest friend Nino Chavez. You all are great people, And thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Nino, I do have one more question for you, if
Please,
that's
come on
okay.
up. Absolutely.
So say if somehow Brittany Angel is corrupt, right? And she needs to be investigated. Being head of the marshals, who will do the investigating?
That's good.
That is a very good question.
Those are good questions. They're asking
The
right
answer is I don't have the answer.
I have an answer.
You will not be doing it, Bobby.
Me and Carmine will personally handle the investigation, guys.
Get the fuck out of here, Bobby.
Shut up, Bobby.
Bobby, actually, you know what? Come over here. Bobby, come over here.
Go back over there, you dog.
What's reasonable suspicion?
Baby. Into the mic, please.
Mommy's not suspicion.
Come on, Bobby.
Speak up with your chest.
Go ahead, Bobby.
When an officer has a good faith belief
Put your
that
fucking
a
phone
crime
down.
has or will be committed,
Based on?
And this is the PD.
based on circumstantial
Hey,
evidence,
Carmine, stop yelling over the fucking radio.
All right.
facts or circumstances.
All right, Bobby, get out of here. All right. All right, thank you very much. Like I said, it's.
I don't even know.
I do want to stress this one more time, is that, you know, your voice does matter at the end of the day, and let's keep it at that. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Disgusted. Aren't you the most corrupt person here, Ruby?
No.
You ugly motherfucker. You an ugly motherfucker, Jimbo.
Is that it?
Is that Dakota?
You got that on camera,
Is that
big bro?
Dakota?
No,
You guys
Get that one. Get that on camera. Get this conversation on camera.
disgusted in you.
All right.
You're upset that
Get it on
the
camera.
people at the top have to be accountable
Carrie.
for what they do.
I'm not
Mm.
worried about that.
I got
I'm just
Twata disabled.
disgusted
Sounds
that
like
you.
you- sounds like you're pretty worried about
Ruby?
it.
What do you
We know you're
why are you
angry. We
disgusted
know you're
at the
angry
top?
after what
All right.
happened.
I saw. Where was she?
A young boy.
Oh, she already left.
My father took me
Roman.
to the city to see our
I would
band.
be disgusted.
He said, son, when you grow up,
I
would
told you it'd be spicy.
the savior of the
Oh my god,
broken,
I can hardly hear you because
the
of.
beaten and
I
the
said I told
damned.
you it'd be spicy.
Yeah, it's pretty damn
Because
spicy.
Yeah.
one day
Yeah.
I'll leave
It's pretty
you.
good. I've missed a lot apparently.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? No one?
Get that
Really?
shit, Tony. Get that shit.
Really?
Honestly,
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't know that song, but I like it.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm stepping on your shoes.
All right.
Whoa, whoa.
Drop my
Sorry about
shoes.
that. Oh, sorry about that.
Shoes are worth more than you. You're worth one across, motherfucker.
Oh shit.
One across.
Hey,
You don't
One
do you see a
across.
problem with Justice Angel being in charge of the
listen, I'm gonna be real. Jimbo's one of the good ones.
Yeah, Nino's my guy.
Yeah.
Nino and I
He's,
get along.
Jimbo is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's
Do you have an answer?
Yo, Nino, you got a second?
Yeah, what's
for
up?
A quick chat.
Yeah. What's up?
So because you brought up the whole lawyer shit, you know, you
Luciano,
bring a
can we be
lawyer down
friends?
there, whatever. I know this
Yeah.
is like secondary. You have a bigger problems to worry about first.
Hey, don't talk
So
about-
I've been
don't
dealing
talk
with an
about
issue where, like, you know, we have a lawyer on the retainer,
Yeah.
and usually we do shit all together, you know, as a group. And because you know, the PD force wants to divide themselves, which is, you know, whatever, it can do whatever the
Your man?
fuck they want to do, right?
Is that your man?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your man?
So in there's situations where you know, let's say a couple of us are going to jail, and then we're getting arrested by like LSPD or Blaine County.
Yep.
So they start
shit.
separating us.
I
And
already
now that
brought
hinders
this
our-
up to the justice, and I was
Okay.
told that it is not my prerogative. I actually wrote legislation specifically allowing civilians of Los Santos County arrested in Los Santos County to have the choice to not be extradited north. The original excuse was that Bolingbrook is in Blaine County. I said, okay, I'll put a clause in there. And then they said, well, it's not your place.
So what I was told, you know, was the
Mhm.
reason why they're taking people up there is because they want to make arrests up there, so
Correct.
they can get credit for it.
Yep, and I brought
Which
that
I
up
ki-
with
I get
the
it.
Chief Justice, and I was told it didn't matter.
So even upon request, when I
Yep.
told them, hey, let's say like 5 of us are going in, can we all get like booked at the same station so we can
Yep.
get the same lawyer
They-
helping all us out? Everyone was acting clueless.
Yes,
So-
it's a massive issue, and the fact that the justices don't see that being an issue, right? Like, I'd even go as far as saying, like, if they needed to take every suspect collectively down to one station, at least that makes sense, right? But the splitting it in order to treat you like money bags is just, you could argue it's a problem with, like, due process, because your ability to get processed in a timely fashion becomes stopgap, because some of the information about your associate is in another station that's having to be told over radio. You know what I mean?
I'll call you, Tilly.
Yeah.
Like, what if
Is
you
it a
want a
reach
bench
to say
trial and
that-
you need to know if the other guy wants a bench trial? How are you gonna know that? You have to go through the police department. It's very you know, it's the priorities just don't line up with logic, and that's kind of the problem we're seeing. You know, is
Yeah, because like, you pay a lawyer on a retention, you want to use that lawyer, and you want lawyers, you know, like, and you want obviously you want to have a lawyer no matter what, you know, just so because you want to have a lawyer, right?
yeah.
And it's almost like indirectly. I don't know if this is a reach. It feels like it's obstacles are put there for you to not get a lawyer there, or make it more difficult.
I mean, that's kind of what we've been seeing, is like, it's kind of obstacle after obstacle, but we hear about the obstacle when we're sleeping. So we'll wake up to some new shit, and we pretty much get asked, why are you not doing these things that I wanted you to do, but I haven't actually verbalized it. So we're trying our best. We haven't given up. As you can see, I got some of my team right over here. We were
Appreciate you guys.
at least, I'd say, 8 hours a day, almost around the clock. So we got people in every shift. So we'll keep pushing from our perspective. But like I said, the first thing that we're going to plan on doing is being a lot more transparent as to what's happening behind the scenes. Because
Yeah, I feel like that's more priority, right? But down the road, whenever you get all that shit sorted out, you can look into that and see if you can.
I'm going to try to push it again and see what happens.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
I'm about to help them commit a felony
Absolutely.
if that shit don't stop soon.
And whatever
All right.
whatever we need to do, man, to make things happen, let us know.
Can you not hear that?
Of course.
You know.
1000%. All right. Hey.
I hope we do as well.
What's up, Nino?
Hey,
If
not
only
too
they would've
much.
shown up, but, you know, if they did have the chance, I really wish that they did show up. If they didn't have the chance, I wonder why.
Hey.
You know,
Hey.
I got a quick question.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause I kind of woke up to this shit show about the whole times and everything. But is it inherently like, okay, so with the whole controlling the fines and everything, right? The
Mhm.
rear purview, and they changed it under under your nose.
Oh,
Isn't that
please don't do that.
violating
It's
our
so
Johnny's
cringe.
rights?
Yes. And being instructed with an order to do something outside of their purview. So either one or two things is true, is they have supreme power on changing anything on a whim, or it's a overstepping their boundaries, right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's,
at this
uh,
point, are the blaners the main threat, or is it?
Yeah, what's up, Nina?
I think it's a little deeper than that. I'm going to give you something practical. Imagine you charge somebody today when you go to court, right? And you're pressing charges on somebody. You're coming in there with an argument, and you're coming in there based on certain legislation that's been passed, right? Imagine by the time 5 months later it goes to court. Imagine the legislation changed.
Sorry, wait, what? Sorry, I just zoned.
How do you know it changed? How do you know if you as PD as prosecution's getting fucked, or if you as the defendant are getting fucked? You get what I'm saying?
What's with this fucking face paint?
But there should be a voting process on the amendment changes.
Nope.
Are there
Well,
not?
that's where it gets. There isn't. Nope. State law has already. 4 weeks ago, there was about 30 plus edits to state legislation without any. Didn't get brought up. I actually first learned about this from Roman, and then I learned about it because I woke up and all of a sudden you could contest law for free. but that's where it gets worse.
Bones has a crush on Fiona.
Is imagine you had a problem with some state legislation, right? Any single one in here. And you contested it.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
means you
$69
said that
bar.
I don't believe this is constitutional. And then it changed. Because they can change it ad hoc, what stops them from turning it back?
What even is this building?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah, it's cooked. It's very cooked. I was there in Soze's court case where he had to explain in the most elementary ways that everything ties back to the Constitution, and I feel like we're back at square one again.
That's concerning to me.
So, you know, that's
Stop
so
barking at me.
we'll see what happens.
My fear right now is that it's not just our county under fire.
Yeah.
It's both counties at this rate. This is the precedent they're setting.
Oh, fuck Blaine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
no, but we're talking about the entire state. This is
Well,
one of
it's the
county's
entire
rights issue
state
now.
at this point.
Hey,
Yeah,
Gigi,
this
nice
is
to
a
see
state's
you.
right issue.
My favorite DiCenzo.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to work.
Wait, Gigi?
I gotta earn this.
Oh.
Where's Gigi?
Yeah.
Wait,
He thinks you're my cousin.
Are you a Blaine?
I just had what's
Fuck no.
I had Ruby just up in my ear
I
right
Yeah.
there,
think I'm your
Nino,
cousin.
saying, oh, I want to hear both
We
sides.
just
We only
have good
got
genes
one
here. We're
side.
good,
I'm like,
you know what I
okay, if only
One side
if
she's-
only the DOJ could have
your cousin
possibly
looks
known
good?
about this happening.
No,
Oh,
same
there
me
was
as
a
a
state
family, you know what I
announcement and
mean?
it was all over Twitter.
Yeah. I don't know
I
what
asked
side
if they work
she...
weekends.
Does she know that she's a regular officer?
She
Gotta
said she's a citizen of Los Santos like anybody else, so she wants to hear both sides, so she's not swayed by one.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll see what the articles say. I mean, like I said, one of two things is going to happen. Either, you know, all this gets exposed in a hearing or it ends up being lies. But,
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about the separation of power. It seems like it's not right.
I mean, if the person that's supposed to investigate the police is working with the police, it's immediately, it doesn't work.
yeah.
And then they use their power to pressure like a sitting mayor.
And they're a justice at the same time. Like, this is just Max.
It's basically
It's
you're the
literally
jury,
Max again.
the judge,
Yeah.
and the executioner. Maybe not directly, but you can just send whoever's under you to do the
No, I
dirty
mean,
work.
is there a law that's like, what you call it? I mean, let's be straight up. If there's capital punishment, then that's the person that will decide that. So yes, they are judge, jury, and executioner. Yes. This is, in fact, this is worse than what we had before.
Yes.
Sign the contract. Sign the contract.
Sign the
Big boy.
contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
I just realized. I just realized.
Yeah, well done. It only
Yeah.
took you what, 4 months? Do you need me to get in the car, Jimmy?
Shit, now that I think about having the person being the director or the marshal.
I'll be real. My boy has a warrant. I think Carmine and Bobby are about to try and fuck him.
Oh,
The only
shit.
one,
All right.
Get them away from him.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to get out there, yeah? I appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you.
I can't do it.
All right. I thought that was a pretty good, let's get Daisy's take on it.
Fuck, he's got a fucking warrant.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi. You okay?
yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I went in less spicy than I wanted to originally, but I think, you know, I want to try to keep it as concise as I could, even though I felt like I rambled. How do you think it went?
I think it went well.
Okay.
I think you got the point across. I don't know. My whole thought about it is just that I think with any sort of branch of government,
Yeah.
there needs to be checks and balances, and it just feels really like the DOJ is operating completely unchecked right
Yeah.
now. And I don't think that they should be able to just outright change laws without alerting anybody of it.
Mm.
It's there has to be something.
Yeah, I was talking to an officer and someone who's been to jail, and and they were both by me. And I told them, listen, it doesn't matter who you are. This affects you. If you're a prosecutor or a defendant, you could literally be going to trial for
I'm on a call. Can I give you a call back?
Absolutely.
Okay, bye.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey.
Where did you go?
I am in the front. Oh, yeah, I'm coming up. I'm coming up right now.
Okay.
I'll tell you what he's looking for.
Okay, so I just got a call from Grayson. He wants me to go down to the marshal's office to ask me about what I witnessed in a cell rep when I was there as a civilian. I was literally there with my parents. And
wait, what?
Long story short, the person who was in the cell was pretending to be somebody else. And full disclosure to you guys, I knew that because I know Clark. But I didn't know what was going on. It's not my place to help anybody with an investigation. What was I supposed to do? Say, hey, that's not him in there. Bullshit. Who's going to protect me when I have to walk these streets after the fact? I do not want to be pulled into this bullshit. I do not have an obligation to tell anybody anything. So why in the actual fuck is anybody trying to get me down to the marshal's office to question me about fuck all?
Because they're going after my bar.
For what reason? They called you guys down there saying this is Clark Mason. You don't know Clark
there's a
Mason.
reason. There's a reason. I will tell you when we're leaving, but there's a reason.
Ava, if you need a lawyer present for you with that, if you end up going down, let me know. I will be there.
Angel has already said that she wants my bar because I speak out too much. So
who does? Who's taking it? Brother, they don't even have. This is the thing, and trust me, I held back. I was gonna bring up like, why the fuck are they not spending more time writing legislation, setting up court cases, getting more judges, like all these sort of things, but they spend more time fucking doing dumb shit and restricting people? Like, what are you accomplishing by taking people's bar licenses? What are you accomplishing going around fucking around with LSPD, BCSO, Blaine County? We're fucking adults. You can barely wipe your own ass. What are you doing telling people what to do? You know what I mean? Like,
I hate this situation as I'm seeing it, of people being in their feelings. There should be a difference between how I feel and being a professional. How I feel about somebody should not impact whether or not they're qualified for something. Why would I go after somebody's bar license because they speak out too much? People are supposed to be able to speak out.
Because it's the DOJ. You have to be sheep. This is why I've told all of you I don't want my license back.
The thing that pisses me off about this particular situation right now is because Arthur told me like a week ago or more that he was questioned about already, and I know that there have been marshals around before now, but the reason this is happening with Grayson now is because he and I are quote unquote friendly or friends, or we were years ago. So now that friendliness is supposed to make me start talking, but what it's going to do is piss me off and make me talk shit, and I really don't want to. I want to keep my calm when I go in there, but I have no tolerance for bullshit. I don't.
I mean, they can't compel you to talk to him without a subpoena anyways, I would think.
No, but no matter what, if she goes in as a civilian, she does not have to cooperate with them. It's not obstruction of justice. She is allowed to keep her mouth shut. It is her God-given constitutional right. Exactly.
Investigation. We do not have Good Samaritan laws here, as far as I know. I am not.
No, you don't.
There's no duty to report, nothing.
You get to do your job. You do your job, not me. I walked in there. I saw him. Clark Mason. I knew that wasn't Clark Mason, because not the Clark Mason I knew, but it could have been somebody else with the same name. I don't know. But to call me in there now, and for what reason?
Their reason is they're going after my bar.
How are they going after your bar by asking me what I knew about whether or not he was Clark Mason? How is
because it's if we knew in the middle of that if it was him or not. And
if you don't know him, how would you know?
No.
Can I ask a question just real quick, just for context? Are you being called down from the marshal badge or for the judge badge? Because I heard he's a judge now. Is that right or wrong?
No. Wait, what?
I saw it this morning.
Who?
Grayson?
Grayson.
Where did I see
Really?
this?
Are you sure it's not the female Grayson that you're thinking of?
Oh, that might have been
Oh
it.
yeah, she spells it with an A. He spells it with an E.
Yep. There's two different Graysons.
Wait, it says who
all you-
investigates credible accusations of corruption, regardless of who? The San Andreas Marshals. Who runs it?
You're gonna investigate your own.
Yeah, we investigated
boss.
ourselves and we found nothing wrong.
Yeah, we found nothing wrong. Yeah.
That's why there has to be an independent
Third party.
agency or somebody, a third party that is supposed to. That's what internal affairs is supposed to be, but internal affairs doesn't exist because it's a marshals. The marshal service and the internal affairs division are not the same thing. They are not.
Bro,
It never works out.
I know it doesn't because the same entities are in play. As long as you have an agency in place where nobody is willing to accept the fact that we fucked up.
The
We're
funny
wrong.
thing
We
is,
did
I was
something wrong.
told. The funny thing is that I was told if I wanted to go after either, let's say, a justice or a marshal, technically you have to go to the state. Like the only
It's-
people that keep their powers in line are the state.
The issue
It's crazy.
I see here really comes down to the following. That what transpired today should have never happened. And the fact that it did happen and there's even a semblance, like take what happened today, just as an example. I don't get fucked by it. The city does. And even up until that announcement, there was enough energy to say, why am I speaking up? You know what I mean? And that in and of itself is a problem. What happens when there is bigger... These guys were caught today. What have they gotten away with, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And it would be nice to be able to just do my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, I'm going to say it point blank and simple. This is pretty much going to be coup part 2, but I don't think we're going to have a DOJ after this because...
There will be a DOJ after. There's always.
Well,
gonna be a
my
DOJ.
question is who is going to be our new justices? Because if
Someone else.
let's
There's always
let's
gonna be
say
someone else.
let's say
You're
that real quick.
assuming
If
there's
we-
an impeachment, though. I'm not even confident that's going to happen.
The reality is, it doesn't matter. Everybody has to stop being so sensitive about things. It doesn't matter. The reality is, you cut off the the head of a snake, another one is going to appear. It doesn't matter. No matter
Yeah.
how bad an entity is,
True.
no matter how bad something is, you get rid of that one, and guess what? Another one is going to take its place. Didn't we have Max before? And now you have another entity in power. And look what power corrupts. It does. But the thing you have to do is have people like Nino and have people who are shining a light on it and saying, hey, transparency is important because you don't want people to think that Nino doesn't know what he's doing or Nino is playing around or taking things lightly. It's important that he lets people know this is what actually happened. That's why I said that thing about throwing the rock and hiding your hands. People have to know who's throwing that rock. They can't assume that it's coming from somebody that it's not, because then that's an easy scapegoat. So
Yeah.
it's excellent that it was said this is what actually happened, and then people can do what they want with the information. And if they choose to believe something that's false, when they find out down the line after they've screwed themselves over that, hey, he was telling the truth. Yeah, he was, but now you have to live with your decision. You were told.
The thing is, though, is what he is saying is true, that Angel has changed multitudes of things to benefit her. She's changed the martial legislation 10 times over. She's changed the charges
Wait, what?
monetarily wise, and like she went through that multiple times and changed it. There's like 4 or 5 different edits, I think, that actually had like clear differential. But the very first one was the biggest one that I wanted. But guess what? It's like, because she changed it so much, I can only go back so far, and I can't see the very first iteration of that document. I can't see the first
Oh, you're saying it
iteration.
changed so much that it wrapped out?
Like they had 5 edits in one day that made it to where you can't see anything prior.
Nah. Oh, well, guess what? I have original copies. You know
Okay,
how?
'cause-
Because I got annoyed with how to search up legislation. I put it all in Obsidian. And so I have copies from 2 weeks after legislation went through. Like all the new shit came out. So
like-
if you ever need a reference.
If you
I'll
look
have
at the
to do that,
situation, look
'cause-
at Blaine County and look at Los Santos County. Why does the Blaine County mayor not have these kinds of issues? Why? It's an important question to ask because it's relevant. They're
I know.
supposed to be able to govern their respective counties independently. Like they do what they do, we do what we do, and whatever kind of overlaps or when one affects the other, there's supposed to be a theme of working together to benefit everyone, the citizens of Los Santos and Blaine County, San Andreas overall. That's not what's happening. And I can say from what I've seen, there's been many attempts to reach out to work together from this side to that side. I don't know if that has been reciprocated. I don't know.
I've gotten zero movement. I went as far as hiring Bjorn, somebody that knows me and the other side, to send a courier notice. Yeah. So, you know.
The problem is you can't communicate with somebody who doesn't want to communicate or doesn't feel that they have to communicate. And then if you keep finding yourself in a position where you're being undermined, at some point you have to make people know that that's happening. Otherwise, it makes you look in a way that you shouldn't be looking.
Well, Angel knows that she is.
She's
doing
right,
certain
actually.
things that are
Wait, who don't
causing
know, Rob?
issues. That she's changed legislation. People brought it up to her. She said she could do it because she can. Because the legislation quite literally says she can change it at will whenever she wants, and she doesn't have to abide by anything because she is the highest of the highest power right now. The things that I've seen her change daily, that I've told people, it's like she changed the martial legislation like 3 or 4 times in 1 week. Some of it was grammatical changes, but there were actual changes like two or three times in 1 week where it was actually like big changes. And one of them was that she added in the line that they could suspend anything to kind of do to uphold the integrity of the institutions or some shit like that. She added that in 1 week when it wasn't there prior. So it's like the issue for me is that, you know, she's given the marshals so much power, but there's no real check to them besides the justices. And guess what? The justices are their bosses, and one of them is a marshal. So it's
That's
kinda like,
exactly it. I mean, think about it from why did I change the slider back? Because a justice who has untapped power told me I needed to do this without any substantiated reason.
Yeah.
What you don't know, Roman, is that this actually started with an outburst that happened at Mission Row, where Peters, who spent all day yesterday doing a fucking great thing for both PDs, is getting chewed out because he did something that historically cops have been doing since I stepped foot in Los Santos. And he got chewed out for it, and then was, well, if you do this, injunction, and I'm gonna fuck you over. The problem of the matter is that I think so much Kool-Aid was drunk that, and I have all the authority and I get to do what I want. The moment it was challenged, there's no answer. And when there's no answer, it's this person did that, I need to fucking point the finger somewhere else. Everything needs to be founded on the Constitution, and everything derives from there. It's a simple fucking concept. It's why we have a new Constitution to begin with. It's not that complicated. You know what I'm saying?
I was told that I could, like, hey, try and contest the martial stuff, or try and contest the little piece of thing where it says the judges can change anything at will no matter what. But I have to have a constitutional justification for it. And the issue with it is that, you know, it's kind of already in there, so it was constitutionally sound because they put it in there.
I'm sorry, can somebody give me a ride over?
I'll take you in a minute. But to be told that I had to have a constitutional justification against something that is already constitutionally sound in accordance to what they say, it's like, okay, what the fuck? I have no like major qualms. I just know that they're gonna be. Oh, hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's her. Okay.
Oh.
It probably wouldn't be a good idea for you to come with me.
It doesn't bother me. If he comes after me, he comes after me. I've grown to accept my fate in this city.
Ava,
Well,
all
that's
you're
the
gonna
first
do.
mistake you've made.
All you're gonna
Accepting
do.
a fate that hasn't even there. What are you talking about?
I mean, all you have to do is literally say, "Am I being sued?" or blah blah blah, and then you just.
I know what to
shut
say.
the
I'm
fuck
No, you
up.
don't
I'm
even say
perfectly
that. You
fine.
just
You
say,
don't have to
I'm
worry about
retaining my
me.
right to remain
Yeah.
silent.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I am okay, guys. I used to be a lawyer. I'm fine.
All
Don't
right,
worry about me.
Okay.
Let's get over there for you.
All right, I'm gonna get going. Yeah.
If you want me, let me know.
I'm gonna do another one of these tomorrow. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more concise. I'm gonna work with Michael to get some of these details out there as well. People need to know what's happening. It's we cannot have a no society. You know what I mean?
A long time ago, you can't play nice with people who aren't playing nice with you.
No, I tried far too long.
And I do plan on distributing the footage of that briefing to the press corps who wasn't here.
See you guys
Okay.
tomorrow, okay?
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
All right, Ava, you take care. I think that's a good idea. I went soft, I think, during that.
It could have definitely been more incendiary. I do appreciate the restraint on it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm trying to do what's right. And what I said to you guys, I mean, listen, I like to spit fire when I'm in, but there's a certain
that's when it
decorum.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm going to talk to Tilly real quick. I'll see you guys tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good. I actually need to go get working on a case.
All right.
So.
I appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow, yeah?
What case you work?
Yellow.
Let's link up real quick.